Hi everyone, it's Casey at Blythe again. I'm continuing to work on the rubber face, matte face Blythe doll. I'm finally getting to a point where I'm almost ready to spray her with Mr. Super Clear and start painting her, so I thought I better do an update and let you know how the sanding process has gone. So basically, in the last video I told you I had used the Dremel tool to remove most of the plastic coating. I then was using a very strong grit sandpaper to get to smooth out any of the marks made by the Dremel tool, as well as remove any more of the plastic coating. And that worked pretty well, and then I used a much finer sandpaper to smooth that out. So it went pretty well. It really wasn't that much different than doing a regular doll, because I still had to do the sanding around the mouth, nose areas where I carve anyway. So the only thing that was really different was having to sand the larger areas, which wasn't so bad because it's a very smooth large area. There's still, which I'm sure you won't be able to see, a couple tiny spots here in the nose that still are kind of the plastic coating, so I'm still working to get those off. What I've been doing is using the coarser paper, a small square just to quickly get that off, and then using a small square to then sand that part. And it works really well, but it was a lot of work, because one thing that I noticed is after using the Dremel tool and the sandpaper, once I started on the finer paper, you could still see there were spots around the rim and a couple on the forehead that I had to go back and give some special attention to. So I'm not excited to do another one of these dolls, but I might try a different method on a different one. So at this point, I'm just getting all the tiny little scratches from carving out. I'm still adjusting and carving a little bit. You can see this is an open mouth. I'm not going to do teeth. I just want it to look kind of like a rosebud O mouth. So I'm almost done, but I wanted to tell you what I do is, so I use this 600 grit paper to really get all the scratches out and get it as smooth as possible, and then I use one of these. This is a nail file from a company called Secret, and I've had them a long time, and they work really good for really shining up the faceplate. Not shining it up in the sense of leaving it shiny, but really buffing the last little bits out. So I wanted to show you that tool that I use. So that's where I'm at right now, is finishing and buffing up the faceplate, and then I will be spraying it with Mr. Super Clear, which, if you're not familiar, if this is your first time or if you're just learning about Blythe, this is what most people use to spray on the face, and that way it gives grip to the paint when you paint it. So the next step, or the next video, should include some painting. What I use for painting is I have a bunch of watercolor pencils. There's a bunch of different brands in here. I use several different colors to give different shades on the face. I use that. I also have some Rembrandt pastels, which I like, but right now really only used for blushing. I kind of want to get some more of those. But one of the reasons I like watercolor pencils is because any mistakes are easily removed with water, and I paint my faces in layers. So I do one layer and then I spray again with Mr. Super Clear, and then another layer, and then that way once you spray it, that layer is set and you can't change it. Well, you can if you want to resand, but any other layers, until you spray the spray, you can change them, which is why I like that. And the Rembrandt is not as easy to change, so I kind of like watercolor pencils. So I'm going to start on that hopefully today, if not tomorrow, and get this doll underway. So as far as with the rubber face, I do have another one that I got. I wouldn't have chose her if I would have known she was another one, but she is, so I think I might try a different method. I've been told that the acetone can work with okay results, so I might try that on this one because it's definitely a lot of work to sand it. So stay tuned for finishing up this doll. I'm still going to show the progress even after we're done sanding. I also have her back plate, which is also rubbery, but I've decided I'm not going to sand it. It's too much work for a back plate. And when I put them together, it's not really very noticeable. So that's about it for this doll. Thanks for watching, and I will post an update soon.